Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to a great day of learning. We will be your teachers today. I'm Miss Tara.
And I'm Miss Ashlee. We are so glad to be with you today for tons of fun, reading, and knowledge. We have a few learning goals for today. We will learn about a person called a blacksmith in colonial America and discover the tools a blacksmith uses. Our focus standards today are RI.K.3 and 9 and L.K.4.
The title of today's read aloud is The Blacksmith. Tradespeople in a town in colonial America were important in their own ways. Everyone had a special job to do, but there was one person who made it possible for many of these people to do their jobs. In a moment, we will make a prediction about what that job could be.
First, though, we will need to work with some of our critical vocabulary words. Remember, these vocabulary words help us with new learning. When we get to the read aloud, because we have learned these words already, we will be able to comprehend or understand what we're reading. What a great thing.
Right. We will do a syllable sort today with all of our words. So here behind us, you will see we have the numbers 1, 2, and 3. We will tell you the words. Then we will sort the words correctly according to the number of syllables they have. Our first word is essential.
Say that word, friends. Let's clap out the syllables now. Essential. Essential has 3 syllables, so we'll put it beside the 3.
Nice work. Our next word is forge. Say that word. Forge. Let's clap to find the syllable count. Forge. There it is. Forge has 1 syllable. So where will we put it? Yes, right beside the number 1.
Now we've got metal. Say that word. Metal. Metal. How many syllables are in the word metal? You knew it. Metal has 2 syllables. So we'll sort it beside the 2.
Let's move to our last word. This word is horseshoes. Say that word. Horseshoes. How many syllables? If you said 2, you've got it. Horseshoes has 2 syllables. So let's get it here with our other 2-syllable word, which is metal.
Now that we've got our words sorted, let's learn what they mean. Our word with 1 syllable is forge. The word forge is a noun. It's a special kind of oven or fireplace used by a blacksmith to heat iron. Here's an example. The fire in the forge makes the blacksmith shop hot. What's the word? There you go, forge. Here's a blacksmith working in front of a forge.
Our next word is our first 2-syllable word, metal. Say that word. Metal is a noun and is hard, shiny material that can conduct heat and be melted or fused together, I could say. My belt buckle is made out of metal. So it's hard and shiny. See the metal belt buckle on this picture?
Now we have another 2-syllable word, horseshoes. What's the word? Horseshoe. Horseshoes. That's a plural noun. They are curved pieces of iron that are nailed to the bottom of horse hooves to protect them. Here's a picture and a sentence. The horse's horseshoes made a clicking sound on the road.
Scholars, our final word is our 3-syllable word. That word is essential. Say the word. Great. Essential. Essential is an adjective, and it means necessary and important. For example, water and sun are essential to growing a plant. So our picture is one of water. something that is essential for life.
Scholars, you learned 4 critical vocabulary words already. Let's take a few moments to review those words so you'll know them really well when we get to our read aloud.
That's a great plan, Miss Ashley. I have a great game we can play to help us review those words. This game is What's My Word?
All right, I love a good game. Tell us how to play.
All right, I will pull a clue from my picture. Okay, this is my mystery picture, and I'll tell you the clue, and Miss Ashley and the scholars at home are going to tell me the vocabulary word that it matches.
Okay, now this sounds fun. Let's do it.
All right, here we go. This word means necessary and important. And it rhymes with provincial.
Friends, do you know it? I heard it. Essential.
Perfect. Next clue. This word means curved pieces of iron that are nailed to the bottom of a horse's hoof. It rhymes with blues. What's my word?
You were fast out there. I agree with those scholars. That word has to be horseshoes.
Bingo! Let's see what the next word is. It's hard and shiny material that can conduct heat. This word rhymes with pedal.
Do you know it, friends? Great thinking. Miss Tara, that word is metal.
You're right again. And here's our last clue. All right, what is the word that is a special kind of oven used by a blacksmith to heat iron? It also rhymes with George.
A special kind of oven. Of course! I heard you out there. A special kind of oven a blacksmith uses is a forge.
Magnificent. Scholars, you and Miss Ashley were experts with those words. Say the words after me as I point to them and read them. Forge.
Remember, this is a special oven that a blacksmith uses to heat metal.
Metal.
A hard, shiny material that conducts heat.
Horseshoe.
Those are protective curved pieces of iron that are nailed to the bottom of a horse's hooves.
And finally, essential.
That means necessary and important.
That is amazing work. Knowing the meaning of words will help us be better readers and to help us comprehend and understand our story or any other type of text when we read it. You are learning so much already today.
Indeed you are. Now, just a few moments ago, we said that you would be making a prediction about something. A prediction is your idea about what will come next or your idea about an object or an occurrence. It's a little bit like a guess, but even better than a guess because you use some knowledge that you already have in that smart brain of yours to make the best prediction for the question that's asked.
So, today's read aloud titled is The Blacksmith. Tradespeople in a town were all important because everyone had a special job to do. But there was one person who made it possible for many of these people to do their jobs.
Now, go ahead and make a prediction about what kind of job could help everybody else do theirs well. What kind of tradesperson could help other tradespeople get their tools? Very interesting thoughts.
Listen now to today's read aloud to find out if your predictions are correct. Take a look at this image. Tell me what you see. Interesting observations. Blacksmiths were some of the most important tradespeople in town because they made all the tools that people needed to do their jobs.
So, friends, were your predictions correct? Blacksmiths made chisels for masons or bricklayers and hammers and nails for carpenters and cobblers. Carpenters were tradespeople who built things from wood, and cobblers were tradespeople who made shoes.
Blacksmiths also made household items like kettles, cooking pots, candle holders, and other utensils. Additionally, they made horseshoes or the curved pieces of metal nailed to horses' feet to protect them, hinges, knives, and swords, locks, and keys, and so much more. Do you know what all these things are made of?
Good thoughts. You'd be surprised at the number of things people used in everyday life that came out of the blacksmith shop.
To do his work, a blacksmith needed 5 basic things. He needed some metal to work with, something to heat the metal in, something to move the hot metal from one place to another, and something to put it on, and something to hit it with.
Metal is a hard, shiny material that can conduct or carry heat and be melted and reshaped. Blacksmiths in early America worked mostly with iron. Iron is a very strong metal, but when it's heated in a fire, it becomes soft and pliable. That means it can be shaped into whatever shape the blacksmith wants.
To heat the iron, a blacksmith used a special oven or fireplace called a forge, or a blacksmith's oven or fireplace. Most forges were simply open fire pits like the ones in the first picture, so that blacksmith could work closely and easily with the metal he put in the fire. The most important thing was that the fire burned hot, so hot that it could melt metal.
Once his forge was hot enough, the blacksmith would use a piece of iron in it. Because the forge was so hot, he had to use tongs. Tongs have 2 long metal arms connected by a hinge. By squeezing the 2 arms together, you can grab things without using your own hands. You may have tongs in your kitchen to pick up food.
You can see the blacksmith using tongs in this picture. Tongs were essential tools for the blacksmith, almost like a second pair of hands for him. They were both necessary and important. He couldn't do his job without them. The blacksmith would leave the iron in the forge until it was red hot, meaning that it actually got so hot that it turned bright red in the fire. Then he'd pull it out, using his tongs again, to keep from burning his hands. After quickly removing the red-hot piece of iron from the fire, he placed it on the anvil and started to bang away at it with his hammer. In this picture, you can see the anvil, the big block of metal on which the blacksmith shaped the iron. The blacksmith had to work quickly because the metal was only soft and pliable when it was red-hot. Once the iron cooled, it would harden.
As long as the blacksmith kept the metal hot, he could shape it however he liked. He could make the metal longer or shorter, thicker or thinner. He could bend it and mold it into special shapes. In this picture, you can see how the blacksmith is shaping a horseshoe. When he was happy with the size and shape of whatever he was making, the blacksmith would let the iron cool off, sometimes by plunging it into a bucket of cold water, and it would harden. Now, what would make the iron harden faster, leaving it out in the air or plunging it into the cold water? Good thoughts. Plunging it into the cold water would make it harden much faster. Because a blacksmith lifted hammers and heavy iron pieces all day long, he was usually one of the strongest, toughest men in town. A blacksmith probably had more than his share of scars and burns from the hot metal he handled every day.
Blacksmiths were often thought as a clever and resourceful people, meaning they were able to figure out how to fix things and make things work. If a person needed a special tool for a special job, chances were the local blacksmith could figure it out and make whatever was needed. Is anyone wondering where the name blacksmith came from? Well, the word smith comes from the word smite, which is another word for hit. And iron is black, so a blacksmith is a person who smites or hits black metal for a living.
Today, machines do the work of blacksmiths, melting iron in large pots and pouring the hot metal into molds or shapes. For example, there is a mold for horseshoes. The good thing about using a mold is that no one gets burned and all the horseshoes come out the same.
But we will still appreciate the handmade ironwork of the blacksmiths from years ago. No town in early America was without a blacksmith. He was the essential tradesperson in every town.
Wow, that read aloud was full of interesting information. Friends, thank you for listening so carefully. Let's give your comprehension a check. I'll ask you some questions. Remember to answer in complete sentences by restating the question in your response.
What kind of metal do blacksmiths work with? That's right. Blacksmiths use the type of metal called iron.
Metal is hard. How is a blacksmith able to bend iron into different shapes? If you said he heats it in a forge first until it's very hot and soft, you got it.
What are the different steps that the blacksmith used to make a horseshoe?
Let's go through each step together. First, start out by telling us about the forge. I hear you. He lit a fire in the forge and heated up a piece of metal. Next, tell us what the blacksmith did with the tongs, the anvil, and the hammer.
There you go. He picked up hot metal with tongs, set it on an anvil, and banged on it with a hammer. Last, how did he cool the hot iron quickly so that it would harden? You knew it! He plunged it into a cold bucket of water.
Amazing work. Now, why was a blacksmith so important to the people in a colonial town? That's it. He made the tools for everyone else. Scholars, you answered those questions like true scholars of colonial America.
Since you are rocking this, let's spend some time on one of the words that we heard in the read aloud. You heard me read, tongs were essential tools for the blacksmith, almost like a second pair of hands.
Say the word essential with me. Essential. Essential means necessary or needed and important. For example, a practice is essential if you want to get better at a task, such as reading or playing soccer. Tell us about something that is essential to you and try to use the word essential when you tell about it.
Great responses. Now, what's the word we've been talking about? Nice. Essential.
We have a sorting chart here on the board behind us. We'll name some objects that we have here on the cards. If you think this object is essential to a blacksmith's work, say, that is essential. If you don't think the object is essential to a blacksmith, say, that is not essential.
So let's start with our first word, forge. Is that essential for a blacksmith? I hear you. A forge is definitely essential for a blacksmith. How about tongs? If you said that's essential, you are exactly right.
What about horses? That's not essential for a blacksmith. A blacksmith may have had horses, but they're not essential for blacksmiths to do their work.
Friends, you're doing a great job. Let's do another. Cotton? Nah, cotton is not essential. What about an anvil? Oh yeah, an anvil is essential.
Incredible. Let's close out today with a multiple meaning word. Many words in our language can mean more than one thing.
In the read aloud, you heard blacksmiths in early America worked mostly with iron. Iron is a strong metal that becomes soft when it is heated with fire. Which of the images on your screen shows what the iron of a blacksmith works with? Image 1, 2, or 3? Good eye. Image 1 shows what the iron a blacksmith would use.
Iron can also mean other things. An iron is a tool with a flat metal base that is heated and used to press wrinkles out of clothing. Which image shows that type of iron? Image 2 shows that appliance called an iron that presses wrinkles out of clothes.
Iron can also mean when a person removes wrinkles in clothing by using a heated tool. Which image shows the meaning of iron? Yes, great thoughts. That's image 3. Iron is an action verb that means the action of removing wrinkles.
Friends, good work. Now you know the 3 different meanings of iron.
One is the metal that a blacksmith works with, and the other is the tool or appliance that heats up so you can get wrinkles out of clothes. Those are both nouns. The third meaning is the action of getting wrinkles out of clothes. That one is a verb. Now, you use one of the meanings of iron in a sentence.
Oh, wow. I heard some really great sentences. Here's mine. I will iron my clothes in the morning for work.
Amazing work. We have had so much fun today. Friends, I hope you've enjoyed learning all about the blacksmiths of early America. We also learned all about the word essential, which means necessary or important.
We look forward to seeing you again soon as we continue to explore important happenings in the past. Thanks for doing your best today, scholars. Be sure to share something you learned today with someone in your home.
All rights and credits for today's lesson belong to Core Knowledge Language Arts. We would like to thank them for publicly sharing these valuable resources. The views and opinions expressed in this lesson are those of the Core Knowledge authors and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the Mississippi Department of Education. Thank you for joining us today, boys and girls. We will see you next time.